Welcome to my first YouTube video. Today we will talking about general tank guidelines. I'm going to run like a pickup group, or I will join a pickup group from the dungeon tool finder. But first let's talk about the basic skills a tank should have in order to have like a decent run. So I made this one with my Twitch just now with Xenoheal Rickless and Lucro04. Thank you for that. So a good tank in general shows leadership, knows how aggro works, is proactive, has enough knowledge of the mobs or the dungeon or inside the dungeon. Looks amazing. And it comes to a dungeon prepared and repaired. Like how many times does your shield break or weapon or any guy, any DPS has like red gear? That just sucks. So with shows leadership, I mean like you will ask for leader, you will do the ready checks, you will do pull timers. You make sure everybody is focused and has his or her attention for the dungeon. A good tank knows how aggro works. Many times I see like tanks losing aggro, and aggro shouldn't really be a problem for any tank. Like aggro has become more easier and easier over the expansions in my opinion. Like now we had like a small nerf I think, but still you out aggro everyone if you just use your stuff right. A tank is proactive, so he will lead the way. He will make pools that are fast and interesting enough for the rest of the party, so people will not get bored or people will start to ninja pool on purpose to speed things up. That's very annoying. Like you need to be there as a tank and you need to lead the way. So with knowledge of mobs or the dungeon, you should know what mobs have what abilities. You need to know which spellcasts can wipe your party or which spellcasts can one-shot you at some point if you go higher Mythic Plus. So you need to have like a good or like a basic knowledge at least of the encounters and the mobs inside the dungeon. And with being prepared and repaired, like you bring your flask, you bring your food to maximize on your abilities. Yeah, and the roots of course like show leadership. Like you need to have like a route inside your head that you want to go for when joining a dungeon. But we will come back to this all later while we're doing the run. So a bad tank, like the opposite of a good tank, he's waiting kind of for the party to lead him. He will not ask for leader. Like he will just be in the party as like any other guy, any other DPS. He's just there. Like you should ask for leader and you should lead the way. A bad tank doesn't know how aggro works. He will just focus on one target like a DPS instead of tabbing, which I will showcase during this run. And basically he will lose aggro when people have other focused targets than him, because he will only use his single target and AoE rotation on target he is focusing, but that might not generate enough aggro on the rest of the pack, and then he will lose aggro. Slow and passive gameplay, like he's waiting for other people to show him the way. Like maybe he doesn't know the way inside the dungeon. He's waiting too long and people will get bored. Like DPS, they want to put out massive numbers. They want to go. He doesn't know the pool, so he doesn't know the route. Forgets his shit. Like he forgets to repair. Like he may just make stupid mistakes. Forgets his invis potion, whatever. So on the other side of this, like there's like two things that come to tanking, like the general aspect, and then there's the tanking skills itself. So making the right pools without additional ads, like if you would range pool or whatever, get like a patrol added into that pool that you didn't want, and then people freak out, they panic if you don't get insta aggro on everything, and then you wipe. Using line of sight or range when needed. Sometimes you need to get a melee or like get a ranged mob into melee range. You can do that by interrupting if it's a spellcaster and then running back, or just range pull and then use line of sight or the range to get ranged mobs closer to you. Instant aggro lock, like I always like to mark a skull for the priority target. This is usually a caster. And if you don't have good aggro lock on your target, you will lose aggro and the mobs might start one-shotting on your group. A good tank interrupts enemy spellcast to protect himself and his party. But this is like a general rule for everyone, anyone with an interrupt. So I just joined a pickup group. I don't know these guys. But I will try to show you guys the basic stuff. How you should enter a group, in my opinion, as a tank. Like you roleplay a bit, let's be honest. I could show you my full screen so you can see chat too. Guys, don't troll me. Let's fly to Temple of Strahd. Like as a tank, let's like we know we're going temple. So the moment you get the invite, you know where to go, you start moving. That's also one of my biggest annoyances. Just to wait for people who stay AFK in Borealis. So what I will do next is I will ask if these guys have invis potions so we can make the pools we need. Like I know the route in here, like it's a basic route that most people know. But I have some skips in mind, so I will ask the party before, like do we have invis? If not, then we just go normal way. So here we can already see some shit here. Like some people didn't come prepared, so we have to take that in mind. So 2 people without invis, then we just go normal route. 3 people, like why? Probably because of the lower experience. Like they think, like they just run dungeons to complete it, but maybe they don't really want to push, but they want to try some higher-ish dungeon for now. So some people don't have invis. Even if you have like your own invis as a druid, you always have like a lesser version of invis. Like if you use invis potions, there's like no risk involved.